I'm looking at that boat there, and that's the reason I'm stuck in the boatyard. It's been parked in front of me for over a week now, and they have not done any work at all on that boat. And I tell you, it's bordering on ineptitude now. They honestly can't use a calendar, I'm sure of that. When I have rainy days and you really can't get a lot of work done, it's a good time for me to rest up and relax and reflect on what we have done. And blisters, I think, is the one that sticks in my mind quite a bit. You remember the blisters, water oozing from the osmosis under the fiberglass, and I don't think we want to talk about blisters ever again. The engine seacock valve was replaced. Now, the previous seacock was an old-style bronze valve, which I like better in general, but it wouldn't isolate water if you shut it, so it had to go. I've got my finger on an oil hose that goes to the cooler, the oil cooler, and that was leaking because it had been installed poorly. And remember the fiberglass repairs, I'll call those miscellaneous. That's the rubber rail that had been leaking through. So these are my new night lights that I put in. So when I come running in here at night, I'll be able to see the floor and the steps because they shine on the stairs where I'm at. See the brown tick mark on the shaft up there? Yeah, so that's going to be the elevation. So the swim platform is actually going to serve as a pipe clamp, pipe support, and that's how I'm going to hold it. So these two guys here did a hell of a job making that swim platform, and you can see that I haven't finished my part. You see the tabs on them? Those tabs will allow me to install a piece, it could just be plywood, it could be starboard, it could be a stainless steel type deck. But either way, that's not important. The important thing was to get the structure put on while we're still in the hard. And it came out just fabulous, just freaking gorgeous. And that's stainless 316. So really, really good. Point. So this is the wood rails. They look all rough and nasty, but that's 2 layers of thin epoxy and then 1 layer of regular epoxy, then sanded down with 80 grit and then with 320 grit. And of course the guys have masked it off. But we're only doing the port side today. And what you see going on, boy, that solvent stinks like hell. This is coat number 1 of the clear coat. Ended up putting 3 coats of the clear coat down, and I have tons left. Now, why would I do this instead of normal varnishing? Well, it's for protection of the wood and to eliminate work in the future. That's the 2 real things I'm going for here. Epoxy is really, really good at something, but one thing it's not good at is protection from ultraviolet radiation. Anode back on and completely mask over. The objective is to get the prop speed here on the propeller shaft, although normal bottom paint would probably suffice, but try to do the prop speed there and of course on the propeller itself. I just cleaned it with the acetone, and the next thing to do is get the kit down here and go at it. I don't know if it's just me or all the other boaters have the exact same problem, but my propeller really seemed to foul up pretty heavily. So I decided to finally break down and spend $100 plus on the prop speed kit. And you can see it's a 2-part thing. You put on this etching primer, which is what I've used etching primers before when painting aluminum. And this is an etching primer with a lot of probably cuprous oxide built in. And it's a 2-part. So you mix it up like a 2-part coating. And you can see I put some on the shaft up there by the anode, and I'm getting the propeller. And I used it until I just didn't have any more left. You need to proceed with the clear coat as soon as the last coat of etching primer is dry to the touch. Ensure it's well mixed. Apply with a brush only, no foam. Make sure there's no sags, runs, blah, 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 blah. You'll have 5 to 10 minutes to touch them up. Make sure the surface is completely coated. Any mist areas are going to look dull like that. So it should look shiny. 8 hours to dry before launching, and that won't be a problem. So that means we go. The clear coat goes on top of the etching primer. Again, 2 coats of the etching primer. You make sure each coat is done before you hit the next one. And as soon as the top coat is done, you put on this clear coat. It's silicone based, and that's about all I really know about it. It's got a lot of silicone in there, and it doesn't come with a hard finish. It's more of a rubbery type finish when you're done. Hell, I use a leftover on top of my rudder to see if that helps. This is a prop speed. Dry as can be.
Okay.
Normally for just 1 minute, and then later I will edit and make sure if anybody is naked or using bad language, then I will not use that, and I will never do anything that would embarrass anybody. Because on my next video, I want to show that. Because people ask me, "Do you do any social activities?" I go, "No, I work on my boat."
I don't do anything.
I say all I do is work on my boat and sleep, and I said I tell people I am socially inept, you know.
Russ, maybe it's better for that Eva sit here and
No.
So man, yeah, you don't want to be on a nautical chart. You got nothing. Because this is like the official, you know, surveying stuff, right? There's just no information.
That's what I had going up.
But if you hit on sonar chart, then it's the crowdsourced 1 foot contours.
Really glad that Brent took the time to school me up on one of the map options within Navionics on the chart plotter, because as you can see, all I have is a big blue blob which shows everything being shallow. But if you go to the options on Navionics, and if you select from nautical chart to sonar data, then all the other folks who have passed this way before using Navionics, and they have a GPS connection, of course, their depth readings are broadcast to the group. And so you can see all the depth contours, as he said, in 1 foot or 1 meter increments. Those are based on recent travels of people who've already been here. So that was pretty darn awesome. And if you go into the gorge where it went aground last time, you'll see that had I had this feature enabled on my Navionics, and I could have had it, I would never have gone aground. See, I ran aground right there where the red ball is, and I thought I was doing a smart thing, but if I had had this feature active, I would not have hit the bottom. Separate occasion, Brent and I were both receiving information from Dan, who had come across from California through the Panama Canal, the San Blas Islands, and up here. So Dan knows that path pretty well, and he was giving us some pretty valuable information.
Chill out. Then start talking to people, and then getting down to lemon. These are the lemon oils.
How alone are you going to be? I mean, I guess my most morbid fear.
The rainy season washed out the frickin' forest, and there were like trees all over the place. It was like
Scary.
It was for miles, like 15 miles of just and massive trees.
When you were
and
still,
I hit
when
a
you
branch this big.
when you were pretty far out, or
It was all when I hit it. It was all in here. It came in from rivers. Over here is the this is a famous area. I'm telling you.
Hey there guys, thanks for watching, and I look forward to your comments as always. Now that catamaran that was in the way is now leaving as we speak. It's going away. Glory be. Which means tomorrow they're probably going to pick me and set me in the water, and I'll stay here at the marina for at least a few days just to make sure nothing goes wrong with the launch. I mean, you never know. Something might leak. I worked on cockpit drains and we replaced that valve, and it's possible, you know, that there could be a leaker. And also the shaft packing has been dry for almost 3 months, and I'm quite sure I'm going to have leaking through the packing. So, but we'll deal with that as events dictate. You know, we'll just see what happens. That's another day, and we'll worry about that some other day. So right now, I'm happy as can be. I'll get this video put together. Again, thanks a lot for your comments. I really do appreciate it, and it helps me to not feel so much alone out here. And it's good because we'll be getting underway, and the next episode should be all about planning for Panama, and I am really looking forward to getting on the move. Although I should say the weather has been absolutely awful. Just rain, 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 and it's just like, oh my God. nobody wants to go to sea when it's cold and rainy. So, I mean, I sure don't. So maybe I'll stay here forever. Who knows? That's it for now. Take care, guys. I'll get the other video out for launching very, very quickly, I think, right? So take care. Bye-bye.